Nice, fabulous. Okay, so for today's topic, I want to talk about my ideal job manifesto as a creative person. Because I feel like sometimes as creatives we struggle to find or even identify the job that we want. And I myself, I was working in their climate tech startup and I really loved working there. So I know ideal job exists, um, but it takes some path to go there. And as I was saying, I worked in a climate tech and I really loved that. But unfortunately, the startup flopped, and that was my first big role as a head of marketing. And I really loved working there, but it is what it is. I'm going through a job search right now, and it's been tough. It's been just 3 months, and even though I'm getting a lot of interviews, I'm not really good at pathing these interviews. So, and I feel like job market is just generally is very, very tough right now, and there are a lot of other professionals, which I don't blame, like recruiters for choosing their candidates instead of me. So, just for the sake of me understanding what I really want, and for the future me who are watching this video, and for other creatives who are, exploring their career path, and for people who want to like understand what creative job they want to take in the future, this is for whom I'm making this video. Yeah. So we have this little mood board that I created on Cosmos. So basically, the idea is to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun along the way. This is what I want to make. This is what I want to have from my future job. So speaking of, I think the best role that would describe what I want to do in the future is being a creative director or art director. Even though I don't have like exact art degree, I do have other degrees, and I think I was so focused on like money making and being useful that I was only choosing some data heavy paths, or I was like really suppressing my creativity. That's why I want to like pivot right now, and I especially right now as like we're entering AI era and employers value creative skills more and more. I feel like this job will be getting more and more relevant. So yeah, speaking about their company that I want to work for. So the company, I do want to work for a Canadian brand or for a Canadian startup, something that is local, because I I believe in scaling locally, and there are a lot of talents here in Canada and a lot of great ideas. And sometimes companies just opening the office in Vancouver, they're expanding, and then they're moving to US. And I feel like there are companies that are staying here, and we need to show more examples of like creating this Canadian culture and creating Canadian brands that are not just focused on like hey Tim Hortons or like we're Canadians. So I feel like I want to be a part of that kind of a brand. So yeah, design led lifestyle. Obviously, if they're hiring creative director, then they do care about their aesthetics. Sustainable or climate focused. Again, when I was working as a climate tech startup, I never felt better in terms of the value that I am bringing to the society. So I feel like that would be super important for me to work on the company that is, you know, that kind of like just bring some value to their people as well, not just executing, producing, and making more and more, but also do care about the earth and about like sustainability. Point four, wellness, tech, art, and craft. I think we are moving towards this direction generally for most of the brands. We do value craftsmanship more. Like, I do love working in tech. Although I do love art, I somehow do love tech because startups are so interesting. It's such an interesting infrastructure, and there are like so many nuances. Um, yeah, so those fields are preferred. I do also love health tech, which is wellness sometimes. Point number five, future forward. For example, some tech gadgets or maybe digital products, although I do prefer like physical objects, but I don't know, tech projects created by women for women, something like that. Um, the company that create campaigns, like their creative campaigns that we're creating for this company should be, not just focused on promoting the product, but also creating a culture within the company. So dream big, right? Not just not just promoting the services or the product, but also creating a culture within the company and outside of the company as well. So yeah, and seven, B2C and B2B spaces. I worked in both field, and I do love when the company can, combine providing value both for the other companies. For example, like making some holistic retreats and just providing that as a service for the other companies, and also providing this as a service for normal client B2C. So with that being said, just a little aesthetic to show how I want to think about the company that I work for. I do want to feel that I'm enjoying the work and that I'm excited to go to work every day. And I had this feeling in my life before, so I feel like it's very achievable. Work environment and team. So I want a job to be downtown, and I want to commute to the office. I want to be in the office 2 or 3 days, just to talk to the other people, exchange ideas, and I generally learn a lot from my coworkers. So I love being in a team. So the space are how I imagine that the office. It's so the office. It's like I don't want it to be like over corporate, but rather artistic, physical, with a lot of like sensory objects. For example, like mood boards with some textures that we can touch, something like that. So woman CEO, no micromanagement at all, very flat culture, like no hierarchy, up to 50 people, something that where we can collaborate. Um, Honestly, and collaborate transparently. So I would prefer to have a small creative team that I can possibly or I can manage in the future, because I do want to step into the more like management roles. That's what was happening in my life before, but I feel like I really want to like step into the role where I constantly have a team that I work with. Um, and generally I do love working with other women and with other people as well. So yeah, I just feel like in this type of culture we're being our most, like best self, without their company being like, so some companies I worked for, it was I just like I felt forced to have fun at the workplace, and I definitely don't want this to happen again. So this is something that I imagine is my ideal or my dream job. So this is their inspiration of the office space with a little mood board behind the back, and this is something like management, like from their Devil's Wear for Prada. Okay, moving on to their day-to-day work. Just let me sip my matcha. Um, Day-to-day work. So what can I bring to the table as a creative director? um, yeah, English is a second language. So trends and concept research, campaign development again. So something like researching trends, writing scripts, mood boards, campaigns, like visual storytelling, how the campaigns will be. sometimes when I'm developing like campaign concept for my clients, or when I did it in the past, it was like it's always originated in something in the feel or in like memory that we wanna awaken in our client. So it's not just about, you know, like pretty picture or something that is on trend. It's also should be aligned with brand. It should be something that also considers their consumer behavior. It's something that also aligns with the marketing funnel. So kind of like curating all that and having a team who can like produce design and also bring their own ideas, beautiful ideas to make those campaign happen, that would be amazing. So generally like collaborating with product teams, engineering teams, helping them to make the product better, creative management, aligning marketing strategy with the creatives that we do, meeting people from the industry. I do really want to work with artists more in my new workplace, because I feel like in my dream job, the company that I will work for will emphasize collaborating with local artists a lot, because it's just so important to foster art and culture in our society, and some companies really miss on that, although I feel like it's a huge boost for brand reputation. So besides that, art direction, creation, and ideation. So just to show visually what I mean is something like creating, you know, like bold ideas. Like I really love this campaign by Tampax, or you know, from Tech is like Hello Moto, this old campaign, the archive one, or Helmut Liang campaign when they just asking regular people to be their models, and it's also from 2000s. So I really love that. So this is about their day-to-day work, you know, just like talking to management, creating presentations, collaborating within the team, developing concept. The perks that I want to have at the job is traveling every 2-3 months to their industry conferences, because it's amazing. It's also what I had in the past in my startup job. I was traveling to different locations. I was traveling to China, I was traveling to New York, just to be at the conferences, just to exchange those ideas and learn from other industry professionals to see what's actually happening. I also believe it's super important to travel to their production side, just to see like their how the product is made and understand the craft, like the craft aspect of the product better. So I would definitely, you know, love travel with work, because I also believe it's just way more fun to travel. Oops, I didn't know about that. I believe that it's way more fun to travel for work than just travel for leisure once, or if you're lucky enough, twice a year, and just kind of like, you know, it's your vacation, the time when you're supposed to relax. No, I feel like it's just really fun if you can like explore a city with your coworkers, if you can explore their work side of their culture of the country you're traveling to, not just, you know, being a tourist there. Anyway, so yeah, going to creative exhibitions, tech conferences, maybe even going to some team retreats in nature, not just, you know, having like meetup in Mexico or something like that, but actually like going to some, I don't know, Iceland lagoon or something like that. Obviously full health benefits and education benefits. I really love when employer gives you education benefits, because I feel like it's just like so cool when they're trying to, you know, like promote this their education within the company. I don't know, just I find it really cool. Anyways, going back to the mood board, stop seeing it as a marketing, start seeing it as taking up space as an artist. So this is something that I wrote down for today's topic, because I feel like I struggled with that a lot as a marketer. Um, yeah, I don't know if you have ever felt the same, but I feel like just because I always had to, make money as an immigrant, I always had to survive. I always have to, like, I had this, like, Slavic survive mentality a lot. And that's why I was always scared to go into creative field rather than, I was just like staying there and trying to, make revenue for the company, make more sales, and etc. 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 without like forgetting who who I'm who I really am. um, yeah, and this is this is just something that I'm, that I want to manifest right now, and just like I want to put it out in the internet, and I want to like make this possible without like, and it wouldn't be possible without me just first saying it out loud. Because I want to dream big. I want to make big ideas happen. I want to, be bold and creative and do stuff that I really love. Coming back to this first image, right? And I also want to like help a lot of people, make a lot of money, and have a lot of fun along the way. And I feel like the company that I have described, I don't know, maybe some people will be like, oh, yeah, like everyone would want to work like that, or everyone would want to, work in a company like that or have this job. Yeah, but I feel like we also do need more jobs like that or more companies like that, because what we're like missing at many workplaces is their human touch, and like understanding that it's all possible and we can actually have fun, make a lot of money, and help a lot of people without like sacrificing being, you know, human. With something is going on outside of the window, but anyway, so without like sacrificing human qualities. Yeah. So this is it. That's everything that I want to share for today. And yeah, just taking this time to manifest this job. I hope this job will find me, and I hope that the job that you want to manifest for yourself will also find you very soon. So yeah, just sending this energy to the universe.